Welcome into Texans Today, everybody. More breaking news here on a hump day here at Texans Today. I was out at dinner, didn't get a chance to make the video just yet. I know I'm a little late, but had to still drop in, make a quick vid about Danielle Hunter. Gets a massive contract extension. The defensive end staying in Houston for another year. It was first reported by Tom Pelissero saying it was a 1-year, $35.6 million contract extension that makes him the NFL's second highest paid defensive end. Hunter will make $32 million this season, a $12.5 million raise, and $55.1 million, $54.1 million fully guaranteed over the next 2 seasons. So Danielle Hunter getting a payday, and this isn't a surprise to anybody, especially if you've been watching the channel. I've been saying the entire offseason the Texans need to extend Danielle Hunter. They need to keep him in Houston. He's got a lot left in the tank. I mean, him and Will Anderson Jr. combined were arguably the best pass rush duo in the NFL last season. And we saw what the Eagles did to the Chiefs. They were able to dismantle them by getting pressure on Patrick Mahomes. That's the name of the game right now on the defensive side of the football. And you got to keep that unit together. You got to keep that duo together of Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr., locking him in for Houston for one more year. I mean, hell, if he plays really good this season, I wouldn't be surprised if they double down and give him another year extension after this next year. But I'm really glad to have Danielle in Houston for the long term. Go down right now. Grade the extension A, B, C, D, or F. I'm giving it a big fat A+. I know you're doling out money the same day that they had the press conference for Derek Stingley Jr. earlier after his historic deal, 3 years, $90 million, making him the highest paid cornerback on a per year basis, even though the extension, it's added onto his current deal. So technically, if you... The entire deal, regardless, the Texans are spending money and locking up their key pieces. Go down and grade the extension for me because I absolutely love it. Like, I think having him on this team as one of the leaders, I think he's a great leader in the locker room, really good for this defensive line, really good for this defense overall, and you're building something scary on this defense. I'm telling you that right now. They're probably going to add a couple more pieces in the draft on the defensive side of the football, but you're looking at this team. You know, you have Will Anderson Jr., Danielle Hunter, you have DeMecco Ryans, you have Sheldon Rankins or Tim Settle or Mario Edwards Jr. as well that you can fit in there. You have Derek Barnett, Darrell Taylor. That defensive line alone is scary. Then you add in the secondary with Stingley now, probably the best corner in the NFL. Kamari Lassiter, who had a great rookie season. Kalen Bullock, who had a great rookie season. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Jalen Petrie. The linebacking unit's pretty solid too with Azeez Al-Shire, Henry Toto, Christian Harris. I mean, this defensive side of the football for your Houston Texans is no joke. So if they can get the offense right, which I broke down the Cam Robinson signing earlier, slated in for your starting left tackle right now. You had a down 2024. I mean, was good in the past, has been a solid tackle in the NFL, at least gives you somewhat of a sense of security, because I do think the Texans are drafting now with this move, I think the Texans are going to be drafting 2 offensive linemen, 1 interior, 1 on the outside in this year's draft, and they needed insurance. Depending on how the draft board fell, they were like, we didn't want to miss out on one of our top 3 tackles and be stuck with nobody. We needed to sign Cam Robinson, so we at least had that down. And now they're able to kind of let the chips fall how they must. If it's the best tackle on their board, that's what they're going to take at 25. Or if it's the best interior offensive lineman on the board, that's who they'll take at 25. But I believe they're going to take 2 offensive linemen in the top 4 rounds of this year's draft still with this signing. The defensive side, they'll fill in with the gaps here and there. But, I mean, you've seen the moves that they've made on the defensive side already. I think maybe they draft a couple pieces there, but they've really tried to keep this unit together. They've tried to keep that cohesion because, I mean, if it's not broke, right? What's the expression? If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? The defense wasn't broke last year. The defense was awesome. That's what kept them in the game. That's what won them the playoff game up against the Los Angeles Chargers, was this defense. So they're saying, hey, we have a great thing on the defensive side of the ball, so let's keep that going. We'll break down more around this Houston Texans team, more around Danielle Hunter, more around the contract extension in just a moment. But Now's a good time to get a Danielle Hunter jersey. If you want to get a new Texans jersey, go check out our friends over at Fanatics. They have all the Texans jerseys you need. Just use our link. It is chatsports.com/Texans jerseys. That lets Fanatics know that we sent you over there. If you could, help us out a ton. If you are going to get a new jersey, going to do it with Fanatics, go ahead and use our link and go check out all the threads they have over there. They have CJ Stroud. They have all the different variations. They have the battle red. They have the home, the away. They have the H-Town alternates. All 4 jerseys for you there on the website. Women's, kids, men's, whatever. Go check them out. Our friends over at Fanatics. That link will be below in the comments and description of today's video. So, as I said, the Danielle Hunter extension, where do we go from here? What moves are going to be made now? Even though he is getting a buttload of money, shout out to, I'll say it again, I've been giving him his praise, Texans Cap on Twitter. He did say, even though the numbers haven't come in, it should, in essence, help the Texans with a little bit of cap space this year. So not spending money in 2025. They still have that money to work around with and add more players before or after the NFL draft, which I am wondering now with the Houston Texans. They've made a couple big moves. They made, a lot of turnover on the offensive side of the football, a lot of transactions, a lot of small moves by Nick Caserio. I wonder if he continues to do that before the NFL draft, or maybe slows it down and waits until after the NFL draft, see who they're able to take, who they're able to select in the draft this year, and then come back after the draft and sign some more guys. But speaking of signing guys, we talked about it earlier on the program about possible guys they could sign. One guy who we mentioned, I made a wide receiver video earlier today. I mentioned Stephon Diggs, who, according to multiple reports right now, is on a free agent visit with the New England Patriots. I'm very interested to see how that develops. I did say, after some of the moves the Texans have made, I didn't really foresee the Texans re-signing Stephon Diggs. Maybe he's a New England Patriot. I do think the Texans are looking to add a wide receiver in the NFL draft, namely in the first 3 rounds of the draft. I would be shocked if in the first 3 rounds the Texans don't take some sort of offensive weapon, whether that's a tight end, a wide receiver, maybe a running back if they really like one of the guys that are on the board. But all reports indicate doesn't look like Stephon Diggs is coming back. CJ Stroud loved his 1 year with Diggs, had nothing but nice things to say about him. I thought he was a pretty good presence in the locker room. I mean, for as much as he gets about, being a bad teammate, being this and that, a bad rep that he had from Buffalo, from all accounts, I think he was pretty good. I mean, he was out for most of the year with an injury, but I didn't really hear anybody in the Texans front office, anybody in the organization have that many bad things to say about Stephon Diggs. I mean, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, the whole wide receiver room had nothing but good things to say. They were like, hey, he's helping us out. I remember in training camp and preseason, Tank Dell was like, Stephon Diggs is huge right now for us. He's been there, he's done that, and he's helping us out get better each and every day. So, I mean, shout out to Stephon Diggs. If he's able to get that bag with the New England Patriots, part of me was hoping maybe he could run it back in Houston, but I get that he wants to still be a top option and get paid like one. And I think for the Houston Texans, if they were going to bring him back, they were probably saying, hey, we don't want to pay you $13, $14, $15 million. I think that's what kept him out of Cooper Kupp, getting the $15 million a year from Seattle. I think they said, hey, we're paying Nico Collins, and after the T. Higgins and Jamar Chase deal, might have to pay Nico Collins again in the next couple of years, because he is a drastically underpaid weapon right now for the Houston Texans. $25 million is what they're paying him, and T. Higgins gets 30. T. Higgins is a really good wide receiver. Really, really good. But I would argue Nico Collins is a better receiving threat right now than T. Higgins, and he's making $30 million a year. I think the Texans are seeing that. They're saying, hey, we got Christian Kirk on a decent deal. We want to possibly draft a couple more weapons on the offensive side, a couple more guys in the draft. So I'm interested to see who they take there with new OC Nick Caley. Things are starting to come together, though. Things are starting to come together for this Texans team. It's getting really exciting. I'm getting really pumped for the NFL draft, to be honest, because I can't wait to see how they fill out this team. Because I guarantee you they're going to get, like I said, they're going to get some sort of weapon on the offense in the first 4 rounds. I guarantee you they're going to draft 2 offensive linemen. They're going to fill in probably with BPA or, maybe a defensive guy with some of those picks as well. But I'm really interested to see how the Texans do. And Nick Caserio. Nick Caserio is going to wheel and deal. He's going to make trades. He's going to move up and down in the draft. I would put anything. I would bet my life right now on Nick Caserio making at least one trade in the NFL draft this year, whether that's moving up or moving down. So he's always going to keep you on your toes. It's always going to be interesting. I mean, it's been fun covering this team this offseason. It's been frustrating because you kind of haven't been able to see, like, some things obviously we've kind of seen coming. I think most people saw Danielle Hunter getting an extension. I don't think a lot of people saw Jeremy Chuggs getting traded. I think, we were able to kind of see the Texans wanted to re-sign a lot of these guys, Derek Barnett, Mario Edwards Jr. I'm still holding out for Foley Fotokasi, depending on how they draft this year. I wouldn't mind seeing him back with the Houston Texans this year, especially if he's able to get back healthy. But they've also surprised you on some terms too, right? So I'm really pumped to see what this team does. And if you love the Houston Texans, if you're excited to follow along this journey, this offseason, all the way into next season, and then next year we start the whole thing over again, full steam ahead. If you love the Houston Texans, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Join the channel. We just passed 28,000 subscribers. Appreciate everybody out there who has subbed already. But like I said at the top of the show, biggest news today now. After the Cam Robinson signing, Danielle Hunter extension, 1 more year in Houston. So that means he'll be pass rushing with Will Anderson for 1 more year for your Houston Texans. Shout out to Danielle Hunter. Get that money. And until next time, y'all have a good day here at Texans Today.